Hey everybody, it's Mattie here with Altcoin Buzz. Hope you're having a very nice day despite the fact that we are in the midst of another Red Sea, unfortunately. And it was likely precipitated by what we saw yesterday with the hack, the Bancor issue that we touched on briefly. But it has since developed. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at this study that was put out by Imperial College London and eToro. They have a whole bunch of research to suggest that we may see mass adoption of cryptocurrencies as payment solutions in the next 10 years or so. But starting on altcoinbuzz.io and with that big leading Bancor hack story, we're looking at this article by Garrett. So decentralized exchange hacked. $13.5 million worth of crypto stolen. Again, we did look at this story yesterday, just looking at Bancor's initial tweet and their response to the situation, but there's a lot more information to dig into this time around, so let's do that. A decentralized exchange platform known as Bancor suffered a security breach Monday morning. Bancor was quick to reach out about the problem and informed its users via Twitter that, quote, no user wallets were compromised as a result of the incident. I find it really interesting, the fact that you have this decentralized exchange that suffered this massive hack basically the day after Vitalik Buterin told centralized exchanges to burn in hell. Now, to be fair, he was not attacking the security aspects of centralized exchanges. He was more or less discussing the fact that they tend to charge these outrageous prices. But there is some debate as to whether Bancor can be considered fully decentralized. I'll let you guys have at it in the comments. But let's, just for the sake of argument here and just for the sake of the discussion, let's call it a decentralized exchange going forward in this discussion. So it's an interesting thing to see how opinions can contrast and major stories can tie into each other, even within 24 hours of these articles and these issues breaking. So this is the tweet that Bancor put out yesterday. We read that in the news. There's a lot more to it today as far as the details that we can now look into. But again, to their credit, at least they were responsive. At least they didn't shy away and hide from the issue. So according to Bancor, the attack occurred while some smart contracts were being upgraded. The wallet associated with this upgrade was compromised, and the hacker managed to steal about 25,000 Ethereum, about 230 million Pundi X, and 3,200,000 Bancor from the BNT smart contract. This equated to a hack worth $23.5 million, with about $12.5 million in Ethereum and about $1 million in Pundi X. That's unfortunate, plus about $10 million in BNT that was stolen. Bancor managed to freeze the stolen BNT funds, but since they have no control over the ETH and Pundi X networks, there was nothing that could be done about those stolen funds. This means that the hacker was able to successfully escape with $13.5 million worth of crypto. Bancor noted that they are working with other exchanges to prevent the liquidation of the stolen funds that may be moved from the suspected hackers' addresses. This hack goes to show that decentralized exchanges are only as secure as the smart contracts in which they conduct business. Centralized exchanges are often attacked for the possibility of human error, but humans are the ones who write these smart contracts, exactly, and their code can be just as flawed. Hopefully this hack will serve as a wake-up call to other decentralized exchanges to make sure their smart contracts are as secure as possible. So, bit of unfortunate news, guys. That's quite a lot of money and quite a lot of funds. At least they were able to basically secure those BNT tokens. That's perhaps the silver lining in this situation. Here, Bancor has released another tweet. So here is the latest update on the recent security breach. You can read through this. They basically spell out all the information and lay it out. Again, I think to their credit, they're trying to be transparent about this situation. There's not really anything else you can do. At the end of their day, if it is a flaw vulnerability in their smart contracts, the fault does lie with them, but they're being communicative at this point, which is at least what you'd want to see in this situation. So go ahead, you can check that out. Charlie Lee is always sassy and sarcastic when it comes to hacks, right? Mr. Charlie Lee, another day, another hack in the world of crypto. What does he have to say? A Bancor wallet got hacked, and that wallet has the ability to steal coins out of their own smart contracts. Facepalm. An exchange is not decentralized if it can lose customer funds or if it can freeze customer funds. Bancor can do both. It's a false sense of decentralization. So we're all calling it a decentralized platform, but Charlie Lee, makes a good point there. Is it really a decentralized platform if it can lose customer funds or if it can freeze customer funds. Again, Bancor can do both. So despite the fact that it's being called the decentralized exchange, there may be some nuance there in that definition. CNBC is covering this issue as well. Cryptocurrency startup suffers security breach, theft of $13.5 million worth of digital tokens. You can read about those details there. So bit of an unfortunate situation, guys. It's most likely what has triggered the retracement in the market. I think we've lost about 15 to $20 billion worth in terms of the total crypto market cap at the time of this recording. Let's hope Bancor proceeds accordingly and responsibly. They do the right thing. Hopefully we can recover some of these funds. We'll see. That's perhaps a technician's job more so than I can comment on, but let's hope for the best and keep an eye on this situation going forward. In other more positive news, and this article here by Chris, cryptocurrencies will be mainstream in 10 years? According to a study that may very well be the case. So Imperial College London and eToro believe their research shows cryptocurrencies can become mainstream in the next decade. Quote, given the speed of adoption, we believe we can see Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies on the high street within the decade, according to Iqbal V. Gandam, UK Managing Director of eToro. So according to the study that was conducted by these two institutions, cryptocurrencies could well be the next step for the evolution of what we consider money in the next decade. And the study is called Cryptocurrencies, Overcoming Barriers to Trust and Adoption. And there are three main criteria that were not, I wouldn't say used, but that were examined in consideration of what they're projecting. So the store of value that money has to have, the form of wealth that maintains its value without depreciating, the fact that cryptocurrencies and money must be a medium of exchange, an item of value used to facilitate the exchange of goods or services. It also has to represent a unit of account. Any good monetary currency does. So nominal monetary unit of measure. In the history of humanity, our idea of money has changed many times. Originally, it was objects like shells. It evolved to be precious metals, gold, silver coins. It now has evolved to paper money and debit or credit cards. Today, many people don't even carry cash anymore, just plastic cards which exchange numbers on different banks' creditors' ledgers. It is important to note that in each step in evolution, it makes the previous form of money obsolete and more difficult to use. Bitcoin allows transactions to travel across the entire world in a matter of minutes. It takes many banks days to send payments around the world. I tend to agree with that. It shows that there is a superiority in terms of the technology, more efficient, more easy to use. In the report, they list 6 challenges cryptocurrencies will need to overcome to become mainstream. We're going to take a look at these in a moment, but they are the following. So looking at this article published by PR Newswire, cryptocurrencies could become mainstream payment solution within the next decade, finds new Imperial College and eToro report. So this is just highlighting some of the same things. Again, a good form of currency must be a store of value, must be a medium of exchange, must have a proper unit of account. Taking a look at some quotes by Professor Cotton Belt from the Imperial College, the world of cryptocurrency is evolving as rapidly as the considerable collection of confusing terminology that accompanies it. These decentralized technologies have the potential to upend everything we thought we knew about the nature of financial systems and financial assets. In this context, we wanted to get back to basics, clarifying the nature of cryptocurrencies as a new kind of asset class, contrasting them with traditional forms of wealth, and classifying the main challenges that need to be overcome in order to drive their success forward. So again, Imperial College and eToro set out 6 existing challenges that cryptocurrencies will have to address in order to become a mainstream method of payment. There are issues and challenges within these individual sectors, so I'll feel free to read these for yourselves, guys. But the important points of weakness, perhaps now, or that need to be evolved, are scalability, usability, regulation, volatility, incentives, and privacy. I would perhaps add another distinct category in light of today's news being security, right? I think that if you store your money, or even if your precious metals or what have you, if you store your personal wealth in a secured bank vault, that tends to be much safer than, let's say, arguably some of the cryptocurrency equivalents, some of the cryptocurrency options that you have out there, if you're not storing your funds on a cold wallet. Again, you can store your funds in a number of different ways, but the traditional banking methods that are out there today, I would argue, are more secure than what we have to offer in the world of crypto if you're not storing your stuff on a cold wallet. So those are some interesting points to be made. I tend to agree that they are the areas that warrant the most improvement. If you want to take a look at the study specifically, you can take a look at it here. Of course, we're going to be linking to it. So again, put out by Imperial College London and eToro. This is a quote that I'm not really understanding. Bitcoin and blockchain technology could do to banks what cell phones did to telephone poles. Last time I checked, the telephone poles in my neighborhood are still standing. They haven't exactly come down to chop down the telephone poles, but I think I understand what's being expressed here nonetheless. So take a look at this. You have about 25 pages worth of content. A little bit of it is conjecture. I'm not going to lie. I don't think it's the most research-heavy report that I've ever seen. A lot of it seems to be on the basis of personal opinion, but they do some good work in laying the groundwork, providing some definitions. This is a good quote. Henry Ford stated, "Those who believe that the people are so easily led that they would permit printing presses to run off money like milk tickets do not understand them. It is the innate conservation of the people that has kept our money good in spite of the fantastic tricks which the financiers play, and which they cover up with high technical terms. The people are on the side of sound money. They are so unalterably on the side of sound money that it is a serious question how they would regard the system under which they live if they once knew what the initiated can do with it." Very good point. And again, going back to the points that were raised about what makes a proper currency, what makes something functional. Aristotle always used to talk about his four main categories or his four main requirements, that a currency must be durable, it must be portable, it must be divisible, and it must have intrinsic value. In other words, it can't just be fiat. It can't be something that the government points at and says, this is worth such and such, you will respect the value that I have attributed to this particular denomination. Intrinsic value means that it is inherently rare and valuable. That's what makes gold and precious metals intrinsically valuable, just the fact that they're hard to attain, they're not easy to come by, and that they're rare. It's the same thing that makes Bitcoin and cryptocurrency so special. So take a look at this report, guys, if you're financially minded or if you're just curious about what it is that they're predicting here. Imperial College of London and eToro. It's a nice little read, not too heavy, not too technical either. So we're going to link to that in the description. I would encourage you all to check that out. Do be sure, guys, you're following Altcoin Buzz News on Twitter for latest updates with especially this Bancor situation. Hopefully things get under control. If there's some good news and that spells a reversal in this recent downtrend that we've seen today in the market, we're going to be the first to alert you guys. If you like this video, do be sure to leave us a thumbs up. Make sure to leave us a like and make sure you're subscribed by clicking the bell. You're going to get notifications that way, which will alert you to our newest videos on YouTube, which we put out every day. So with that, ladies and gentlemen of the Altcoin Buzz Army, don't sweat this too much. We're in a Red Sea situation. Again, think long-term, not financial advice, but if you choose to invest, I wish you happy investing. We will see you again soon in a new video. Take care.